Welcome, everybody. John Zager, johnzager.com. How's everybody doing today? Good? Good. So, did a podcast already this morning and did that on previous lives we've lived. Turned out to be a pretty good podcast. Went on for like 45 minutes. As you all know, it doesn't switch over to YouTube. Boy, TikTok took over YouTube and they're just in charge of everything now. So my Spreaker podcast, which you can get anywhere, except YouTube, they just won't put them on like they used to. But it was a good podcast. Please go back and find it and listen to it. It's about regression and having lived previous lives. Drank my coffee. It was dark out when I was drinking my coffee and doing the podcast. And now are you ready for this? This is terrible. I'm on Coca-Cola. Because of the caffeine, I need the caffeine fix. And Circle K now is the cheapest place to get soda drinks. Every place else is like $2 for a 32-ounce can or glass or whatever. And Circle K is still 99 cents. So I'm going to pull off of that while we're doing our little YouTube thing. Just some house cleaning stuff. If you would subscribe. I know a lot of you people come and listen, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But in order for anything to count, you have to subscribe, share, and subscribe, share, and be accounted for, because they're just harping at me. I gotta have 1,000 people, or I guess they're gonna quit this. They told me to go make videos on my camera and then upload them, which is what I've been doing. My Spreaker podcasts don't get counted anymore. And then they want 10,000 hours of viewer hours, video hours. The amount of time that the videos are actually being watched. Wanting 10,000. It's not going to happen, is it, you guys? The big, affluent, rich guys, you know who they are. Tony Robbins and Dr. Joe and Dr. Vital, Joe Vitale. Just people like that. There's a lot of people right now that are just clobbering it. They're getting a lot of viewer hours, and they don't worry about 1,000 people. They are in 500,000 to 1,000,000 viewers. Boy, I don't know. I could start making up stories, lies. Maybe that would collect some people. I could start telling fantasy stories, and that might attract some customers, but I don't know. I kind of like what I'm doing. When it's over, it's over. So, wanted to talk a little bit this morning about, the ongoing topic is regression. and which is neuroscience. You know, neuroscience is and talks about, you know, previous lives and lives to come after we leave here. Once we pass on, we go on to another rock, another planet, you know, in another galaxy probably, but in the same universe. And we may not be the same species, humanoids, you know, we may not be that. We may be something else that's a living energy that's in existence out there somewhere. But we still have to deal with the issues that confronted us in this lifetime. So we're not done until we're done. It doesn't matter what species you are, it just matters that you're able to progress and grow and get further ahead. I talked about meditation, and this was kind of, well, I've talked about meditation a lot. Of course I have, but this is the point that I'm trying to get to, is how many of us actually think in terms of we're energy. I mean exclusively energy. This steering wheel is energy, you know, this truck I'm in with the dirty water spots are energy. I'm energy. There's nothing in me or about me that's matter. The headphones, you know, they're energy. Everything's energy vibrating at different frequencies, right? But it's all energy. And what I was explaining to people during the podcast was to try to get to a deeper state of meditation so that you can get closer to sensing and understanding and absorbing and seeing yourself as energy. Energy. And anything and everything that goes through your brain based on your five senses attributes to matter, right? I mean, you think in terms of matter, three-dimensional, linear time. You know, matter, 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 matter. But it's actually wavelength, and not particles. And can you meditate at a level that's past particles, where you don't think or reference in terms of particles? Can you think or reference in terms of wavelength, right? It's getting you closer to pure energy. Are you capable of using your bandwidth to perceive wavelength. Bandwidth is kind of a fun word. Wheelhouse is another one that's a fun word. And they're used in neuroscience to better explain the depth of your meditation. A lot of people, their bandwidth, that's kind of like your brain's capacity to think and process and become aware. It's another way to talk about consciousness, right? And is your consciousness or awareness, because those two words are kind of alike, consciousness and awareness, is your bandwidth big enough, wide enough for you to process wavelength only and not things in terms of particles? And then even if you take it deeper, is your bandwidth capable of processing, becoming aware of, becoming conscious of atoms and energy? So an atom is comprised of what? 99.999% nothing or energy. It's empty space, which is energy. You are comprised of atoms. I am made up of atoms. 99.999% of me or you is empty space or energy. Now that's all logical conversation explaining the wherewithal of each one of us. But can you go deeper into nothingness? Can you get to a point where you don't exist? No person, no place, no time. No body, no environment, no time. Now, try to follow with me here and try to go where I'm encouraging and pushing you to go. For a moment in our conversation, your bandwidth, your wheelhouse, is also what? Your entire intellectual capacity, right? Okay. So your bandwidth is not capable of viewing you as empty space. Now, for a moment, I'm going to give some quiet time here in just a little bit. And I want you to, if you're listening to this, go from particles, if you can get your body, which is matter, down to its simplest forms, which would be particles. Try that first. Try in your mind moving your body just into not matter, which is a glump sum, right? But just try to reduce it down to particles. Do that for a moment. And then, if you can get it down into particles, or even a particle of any kind, then reduce it down to wavelength. You all know what a wavelength is. So now go from matter to particles to wavelength. To nothing. Can you exist as nothing? If you can get that deep into your meditation, that you go from matter to particle to wavelength to nothing, you're now touching on energy. You're now touching on the unified field. I'm going to take this one step further. I'll go back over it. So if you can get from matter to particle to wavelength to nothing to energy to the unified field, infinite possibilities now exist for you. Infinite possibilities now exist for you. I'm going to take a sip of Coke, hang on. Boy, that's nice and cold. That's good. So, we kind of touched on that a little bit this morning in the podcast. But obviously, clearly not enough time. And here in the YouTube video that we're making right now, we're trying to sink in to your gray matter becoming nothing. When you're manifesting stuff, it seems to manifest when you get nowhere. In other words, no person, no place, no time. You're removing, maybe this will make more sense. You're learning how to remove your senses. Can you, right now, and try this. I'll add a little space in here, but can you right now not become conscious as a result of your senses? Can you do that? Here's what happens, and this is kind of collectively talking about the podcast from this morning regarding regression and the various lives in eternity and evolution. It's kind of the whole package. So, when you pass on, die, not a lot of people are able to process that they're pure energy. People are still in the realm of their matter. When you move on, what you're moving on is the energy that you are here on this rock, in this planet, in this galaxy, in this universe. You're no one in no place and in no time. You're in the unified field. So dying, in a sense, is the expansion, right, of your bandwidth, of your wheelhouse. You now think in terms of nothing. You're no one in no place and in no time. And you land, so to speak, you land on another rock. So, I would encourage you all to think in terms of energy. I guess there's an example right here in front of me. I'll mention it, not just for a minute or two, but there's a girl running on the other side of the street from a block back, and she's, I don't know, a block on the other side of me. And she's having a real struggle with running. And it's like she's trying to bring her body, which she clearly sees and views as matter, along with her as she's running. I don't know if you can understand what I'm trying to say, but she's not running fluidly like she's just pure energy. She's running like, and she's a real small little tiny girl, but it looks like she's carrying an elephant on her back. now she's coming back this way now. And she had to stop because she's clearly out of wind. And she's carrying too much mass. I mean, she's tiny, but she can still carry a ton of mass with her. Oh, I see. She had to check her email. Oh, God, this is terrible. Let's see what her expression is when she comes by me right here. She is on the planet solely with her senses as mass. It's pretty clear when you study her. I guess she ran a block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks. When you study her, she's clearly involved in her senses and being mass in time and environment. There was another lady who just walked by ahead of her who wasn't even touching the ground, and she was just walking. Clearly, for her, she was viewing herself as energy. So anyway, I guess we'll bring this close to an end. What are we at? 27 minutes. So here's what you need to do. You need to get rid of your senses. And I want you to get down to a deeper level of meditation. Right? Which is a deeper level of not having matter or particles, but becoming wavelength and energy. No one in no place and in no time. Here comes a cop come driving by me. Wonder what this guy will do. Maybe I'm not supposed to park here. We'll find out. He went by, ignored me. Maybe it was nothing. But if you could, when this YouTube video is over, go back and listen to it a second time and see if you can get yourself closer to being no one in no place and in no time. It's gonna take practice. It's gonna take practice. But if you can get there, if you can teach yourself to get there, you will learn how to self-heal terminal illness, should you acquire it. That's powerful. That's powerful. You have so much power, supernatural ability, energy, that you can self-heal terminal illness, death, and dying. So go back, listen to it, see if you can get more out of it. There's a lot in this one. See if you can get more out of it, and see if you can surrender. to be in no one, in no place, and in no time. God bless everybody. Take care of each other and look forward to talking to you all again real soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.